Hypnotic, but as the only remaining player from the core Hypnotic team, he is definitely going to take on a leadership role, being such a great slayer that he is. So I'm really, really interested to see how this team comes together. They were a really dynamic team last season, and they did a great job. The other members, when they were members of Inhuman, they were great also. So now those teams come together, and we're going to see some great stuff out of them. But Rush is taking a quick lead here.
Yeah, I mean, so much for saying they're a watered-down version of Rush. I mean, they're looking really strong in this first hill here. Again, too early to call. We're going to hop on board a Suspect who looks to be playing the anchor role for Hypnotic right now. But, I mean, with a deficit of about 15 to 20 points or so for Hypnotic, they're definitely within reach of coming back. It was only the first hill. They just need to hold it and try to continue having control of dirt here. But it does look like players like Jake and Jibby kind of came in, flooded, and killed out a couple of Hypnotic players. Just some back and forth going down here.
Well, one thing with this Hypnotic team, we mentioned Krex, the big name who is out tonight, and we mentioned how he was in contention for the KD title. He did not qualify with maps played. He might be the best Slayer in this league this season. Coming into the season, early predictions would be him and Maradona. There's still a bunch of new players that we have yet to see. Basically everybody except for Jibby on Rush. They might be, the next big Slayer. We don't know yet. But, missing that slaying power, he had like a 1.9 KD in I believe 8 maps last season, which is absolutely insane. So they're missing him tonight, but they're doing a nice job, have a slight lead here, and they're going to pick up some graveyard time as Avino. He's doing a nice little job, 7-5 with 20 seconds in hill. Probably the best stat line for his team so far.
Yeah, Avino, always a dangerous player to watch out for. Definitely puts up plenty of kills anytime he steps onto the field and grabs the sticks. So, dropping 9 kills right now, he is going to be leading the lobby. Hypnotic looking good right now. They got about double the points of Rush. Although there were some shaky plays for Hypnotic in the last couple of minutes before this hill. I mean, it looks like they're really coming away with it now. 4 minutes left in the game. Hypnotic has about 75 points to Rush's 32. This is a pretty big deficit, and Hypnotic is definitely looking to hold this, get a nice early rotation. You see players like One Shot right now on the landing pad already going for that rotation. And even though Rush just got 3 down in their favor right there, Hypnotic is now set up to take this next hill. HUD is going to try to go for the wall run. I'm not sure if One Shot is going to be able to spot him from far. It looks like he does survive, but does not take him out. So Hypnotic just sitting on hill right now. Nice and pretty. Nothing too crazy going down. We are going to see Tonimo try to go around the back and hit Hypnotic with the flank.
I like that move to get hanger control like they did right here and push the flank. They do need numbers, and you see Suspect in One Shot. Nice little 1-2 punch. Longtime teammates. You can see they definitely have some sort of chemistry. And they did a really nice job maintaining that hard point. When you have a 2-man flank from the hanger, it's really hard to maintain it, but they did a great job. I just don't know if they see that. That's
nice 2-piece lined up there for Suspect. Could it be 3? It is 3. He's going to be looking for that 4th, but Jibby actually does take him out. Jibby with 10 kills of his own, but not before Suspect could put together a really nice string of kills right there.
Really nice job there. I think that happened so quickly we maybe didn't catch it, right away, but wow, really nice job. And now we see Jake sliding in, taking out Suspect. We're seeing a lot of stuff going on. HUD, another member who we saw last year make several appearances on different teams. He's doing a decent little job here, grabbing time for his team, leading his team with 22 seconds on hill.
Yeah, I mean, unfortunately for Rush, 22 seconds is just not going to cut it. He's really going to need to step up his OBJ game, but also, I mean, the kills all around. Take a look at players on Hypnotic right now. Avino with 13, Suspect with 11, Wired Terror with 9. I mean, you only have a couple of players, actually one player breaking double digits on Rush right now, and that's Jibby. Jake just doing it this very second. So, I mean, Hypnotic really pushing their lead forward. About triple the points of Rush. Let's hop on board with Wired Terror, one of the bigger Slayers on Hypnotic right now, one of the bigger Slayers in the league. Proven skill. Let's see what he can do here as he tries to lead his team into this next hard point.
One thing to note about Wired Terror, where, we talked about his slaying ability a lot last season. I believe he was 3rd or 4th in time on hill also. So, he is a Slayer, but he's a very, well, all-around player. Something we saw, we compared him a lot to, a meaningful like what we saw last season. So one of the very balanced players. I'm curious to see if some of these new guys can do that. Avino is doing an absolutely amazing job with over a minute in Hill and leading the lobby in kills. So we're seeing a very balanced Hypnotic team come out. I think this Hypnotic team is much better than the Hypnotic team that we saw last season.
I 100% agree with you. I mean, they have a lot of talent. They just need to really, work on putting it together. I think they just recently started teaming, so maybe the chemistry isn't exactly where they want it to be. But again, the raw talent there. They're experienced players. They've been doing this for a while now. And some, players like Wired Terror who are actually very young, proving that they can hang with some of the older guys as well. Hypnotic really just putting on a show here. Rush, however, did get plenty of points on that last hill, so do take note of that. And you can't really count him out yet.
What a move there by Wired Terror, pre-firing, just in case somebody was going to jump up there. Whenever we see those pre-fires on maps like this, it can be so lethal. Suspect doing a nice job keeping himself alive with a nice two-piece.
Yeah, Vino creeping in there, though. He's going to take out Jake, looking cave side now because he knows exactly where Rush is going to be spawning.
Ooh.
Yeah, a little risky maneuver there, doing a little 360. Does eventually get taken out. I think Hypnotic will be able to hold the remainder of this hard point. Rush is going to definitely try to make one last attempt, but if it doesn't cut it, they really are going to need to hit that rotation early. Looks like they will be picking up some scrap time here at the end of this hill. That'll break them into triple digits if they can hold it. And you have players like Jibby right now making his way over by the landing pad, going to this next hill. Rush, I think, is going to need to pull something big on this next hill if they really want to get this lead back and get some points in their favor.
Well, we talked about it time and time again last season. The big thing that you will win hard points with is early rotations. The team formerly known as Rush that we saw last season, the reason why they won the championship, the reason why they went all the way, was because they rotated so early. And, even if they didn't get the rotation down right, the second most important thing in hard points are team breaks. They did both of those very well. I don't know if this new Rush team will do that. They did rotate, and they do have the hard point right now. They're getting a lot of time.
I was going to say, speaking of team breaks, Rush just did a textbook one right there, really picking out the Hypnotic players, getting some quality time on this hill. Jake sneaking out just a little bit too early there, was not able to take out One Shot. One Shot's going to put him down and try to get onto this hill, so Hypnotic just a measly, looks like 35 seconds away from winning and counting down. With 11 seconds left on this hill, they're not going to be able to take it here, but Rush really needs to pull something out big here. I mean, they're down by 100 points. I don't know what they need to do to pull this together.
Well, with this new hard point, they already have it, which is a big thing, but this is a middle hard point. You have 50 seconds left. There's no way I think Rush will maintain this for the whole 50 seconds. So what you need to do is milk it for as much as you can, and then if Hypnotic does get it, you need to break it as soon as you possibly can. So it's really rough. And then you also have to, keep in mind, Hypnotic might be trying to rotate to the next one and give up a lot of this time. So you're really put in a horrible situation if you are Rush. But they're milking every second that they can from this rooftop, and nobody's really stopping them. As I say, that One Shot does slide in.
I was going to say, that was the big play that needed to be won there. I think it was Jake on hill. He did not do so. With 16 seconds left, it looks like Hypnotic will be able to take the win if they hold this hill. That's a big if, of course. You have players like HUD jumping onto site right now, contesting. I don't know if they're going to be able to do it. 5 seconds left. I don't think they will be able to take the win with that hill. So we are going to see a rotation now. Rush coming in with a big push to kind of thwart that final takeover there from Hypnotic, but Hypnotic in a great position to do so. 2 seconds left. No one from Rush is near enough to stop them. They are going to take the first map win. There's the scoreboard to keep track of those stats later on, because, of course, we do keep track of all the stats map by map for you guys. But Hypnotic coming away with a win there. A well-fought battle. Rush just didn't have what they needed to in order to execute that win right there. Still a good game nonetheless.
Yeah, I mean, very balanced performance by Hypnotic. One Shot, over 2 minutes on hill, and then along with Avino and Wired, dropping kills and putting over a minute on hill, as well. It's unbelievable. The reason why we saw so many teams do well in the late rounds of the playoffs,
right,
like the Rush team that came last year, and Hypnotic, different members but same name of last year. They were the 2 seed, I believe. You had Booster Flames, Navy Clown, Maradona. They were all grabbing at least a minute or almost a minute on hill.
Yeah.
And then Hypnotic, you had Chroma grabbing a minute on Hill. He always was on Hill. And then Wired was right behind him.
Yeah.
So all the teams that we saw do well, they had more than one player with over a minute on a Hill. You look at this Rush team, they only had one player with over a minute on a Hill. That was Jake. Jake probably had the best all-around game. He 20 kills also. That's very good. But you need more than one player with over a minute on Hill. I mean,
Agreed.
we've said it time and time again last season, and nothing's going to change.
Yep.
Nothing's going to change.
Yeah, it's just this delicate balance of, hill time and killing, and you need to find that balance on top. Literally, it's just layer upon layer. It's such a strategic game mode. You have killing, you have hill time, but layered on top of that, you have moving as a team. So it's so many different things to take into account. Practice is what these teams need to do. And I mean, things like host do come into play, but honestly, it really just comes down to the way teams move together, how they keep their composure, how they win gunfights, and how they react when they don't win gunfights. So definitely some good stuff that we saw right there. Relatively decisive win in favor of Hypnotic as we move into the next game. Guys, we're going to leave you with the beautiful sound of EX, and we will be back in just a minute or two. You guys are getting a nice backstage look of us as we go into the next lobby.
Just want to give a quick shout out to Slinky, former member of question mark or something. I don't know. They didn't win, so I don't remember. But I think his name's Slinky. I think he had time on Hill. I don't know. Whatever.
Slinksy, I love you.
Slinky.
Wait, EX is here? EX. You guys, if you have not done so already, head down into the panels of our Twitch channel and go ahead and check out EX's SoundCloud. And also consider subscribing.
Word that.
Or both, I don't know. They're both worth it. I think we are just about ready to get started with this next map. It's going to be a retaliation search and destroy. I know you guys like that. Wait for it. Wait for it. Wait for it. Boop. Okay. So, of course, it is going to be a retaliation search and destroy.
Let's get it.
EX loving the shout out. There we go. I really hope my vocal cords don't hate me, but I think they do. Hoping that Rush wins in the end. Shout out to King Mexi.
He was. I'm pretty sure he's on Rush. Ooh.
Oh wait.
Yeah.
I guess they used HUD instead of him.
Yeah. Their first substitute of the season.
Well, Mexi, loving the support out here. Slinksy calling it 6-0 in the chat.
Wow, Slinky.
But anyway, guys, HUD is going to grab the bomb for Rush Enterprises. We are seeing a split defense from Hypnotic. Let's see if it pays off. It's always a little bit risky, but it can yield huge rewards if done properly.
Ooh, Avino.
Oh, man. Avino tearing it up.
He is so good with his keyboard. I swear.
Make that 3 kills for him. Wire Terror going to be the last alive in a gunfight with Jake right now. We're on board with Jake. Wire Terror is going to escape to patio. Jake is now pursuing 1v1 situation here in round 1 of map 2 of the first match of Breakout League Season 2. Jake cleans up Wire Terror, and Rush Enterprises is going to take round number 1.
It looks like Wire didn't even have his gun out right there. I don't know what he was really planning, but so far what we've seen for the so far in these only 2 quick matches so far, maps, excuse me, is that Jake is very aggressive. You know, we don't know him. This is the first we've seen of him. 2-0 so far in this S&D. Really nice first round for him. And last map in the hardpoint, he did very well. Also, 20 kills in over a minute on hill. So he looks like the player to watch for this new Rush team.
Avino being extremely aggressive for Hypnotic right now. It looks like Hypnotic is all pushed up on A side of the map. They are just looking for these kills as Rush slowly does close in. It looks like Avino is just going to miss a couple of Rush players there. The bomb does indeed get planted. Avino now in a great position to come up behind Rush, but I think he's going to get spotted. Let's see if he does. Yep, he is spotted by a couple of players there on Rush. Let's hop on board with Jibby. He'll be holding down the back of the street. Actually, Jibby went down, so now it's up to Jake and HUD to clean up Avino.
See, Avino so lethal, but he does get taken out there by Jake. Jake is besting this Hypnotic team 5-0 on a 3 streak. Looks like he's going to get himself a defuse, and he's very close.
Oh.
Ooh.
Oh, green tea up in here. I've never seen that before. To be
Neither
honest.
have I.
Yeah, that's kind of cool. I like it.
That was interesting. I don't know, that caught me off guard. I'm not going to lie.
All right.
I haven't watched or seen anything of this game since Season 1 ended, so we'll see.
He is dunking that teabag.
Oh, yeah.
Alrighty, let's see who's going to pick up bomb. It looks like Jibby is going to have it. The Jibster. Rocking the K-bar. Got the flechette. Plot twist, no one died yet. Oh, just kidding. Down goes Jake at the hands of Suspect. It's a 4v3 situation. Make that a 4v2. Hopping on board with Wire Terror here. He's going to be over by the lower street. Not able to clean up HUD, but it's okay because Suspect was there to pick him up. We're now going to hop on board with Tonimo as he's the last player alive for Rush Enterprises in a 1v3 situation. So for a team who looked extremely strong coming out the gates there the first 2 rounds, Rush kind of fell at the hands of Hypnotic here in this round 3. Not a big deal, not the end of the world. And Tonimo still has a chance to pull something out here. I mean, it's a 1v3, but again, not impossible.
You know, the real kicker for Tonimo here is that the members of Hypnotic know that bomb is down and they know where it is. So they are in a nice setup here to prevent him from scoring.
Look to your right. Look to your right. Oh, he didn't look at him. Down goes Tonimo. Hypnotic is going to take that round. This could be the momentum they need to swing it. Hypnotic is such a strong team. I mean, now that Rush has kind of given them the chance to get themselves on the board here, this could be the change in pace that they need to take the rest of this game. Suspect looking great. We're going to stay on board with him as he does have 4 kills. Let's see what Hypnotic can do here on this offensive round.
You know, I'm really liking this new look Hypnotic team. You know, a team that isn't centered around Wired Terror. I feel like that's a very good thing, because Wired Terror was really the core of that Hypnotic team last season. But, you know, you saw that paid out for them in the playoffs. They did get knocked out, even though they were projected to go to the championship. A team where you have them balanced, you know, with top-of-the-line players, you know, other great slayers, really adds a nice balance to this team. And you could really thrive in this, because he doesn't have as much pressure on him, I feel like. So we'll see what happens. We're on board with Suspect, though, and he looks like he might be closing in on some members of Rush, but he's going to put that bomb down. That's a good move, because they members of Rush were heading over towards B.
I just wanted to hop on board with one shot real quick there, because he did have a player from Rush coming out in front of him. He might be able to pick up the last one, and he does, so good idea to hop on board there with one shot. He was able to pick up the last couple of kills in that round. The first 2 definitely are going to get credited to Avino, who is, as always, looking really nice with his shot right now. He has 5 kills for himself, so things are looking good for Hypnotic as we move into these next couple of rounds.
You know, they tied him up. That was a nice 2 rounds by them. And I wouldn't be surprised if they take another round right here. With that same sort of aggression that they've had, Avino, you know, he's got 5 kills. Jake hasn't gotten a kill in the last 2 rounds.
Yeah.
As I say that, Avino does get picked, but still, you know, Jake hasn't had a kill the last 2 rounds. He might be cooling off just a little bit here.
Wow, looks like Suspect got into, walked right into the gun of Tonimo. Tonimo with a couple of kills there. You will just be sitting pretty in the back here, waiting for one shot to come through. One shot is able to take him out in a 1v3 now. I mean, if he pulls this off, that'll be a full-out 1v4 clutch. Very unlikely, but not impossible. He does, however, go down at the hands of Rush Enterprises, who will take the round win, giving them the go-ahead here. It's 3-2 now in favor of Rush.
You know, I just think one shot was a little off his game right there. He didn't have, you know, great movement. For those of you that are wondering, the map count is 1-0 in favor of Hypnotic. They did take the Breakout hard point. This is map 2 here.
Yeah, you know what? Let's hop on board with... Actually, let's stay with Jibby. He's in a good spot right now. He definitely will run into some contention there. Looks like HUD was being really aggressive, running up the lower street there, was able to bait out some shots. Jibby then going to take out Suspect, 3v3 situation. Rush looking pretty good here, as Hypnotic really has not made any efforts to go directly to a bomb yet. They are just kind of chilling out, taking their time here. I want to hop on board with Avino, though. Wired Terror getting a kill on Jibby, but Avino's going to be right here next to Jake, who has a sniper to even it out. Looks like another exchange went down, and just like that, Hypnotic is going to take that round win. A couple of exchanges went down, kind of off camera, so to speak, there. So, really quick finish to that round, but it is now 3-3. Both of these teams relatively evenly matched. Oh, Misery, I see you in the chat. Thanks for the support. Much love, much love.
So, I think with SND, these teams are definitely more evenly matched. Rush so far, they've been doing a nice job. You know, we haven't seen a lot of these players, but it may just be that they're more of a S&D players than Respawn players. You know, we'll really know when we see the uplink. But, too soon to tell.
Some really slow-paced action here. Going down in the middle of the hotel. Jake being aggressive once again. He is going to take out Wire Terror. Trade going down for Suspect there as he takes out HUD. It's a 3v3.
Really nice stuff by Jake. You know, I love his aggression. I really do. It's very... You know what? Never mind. Chris, your turn.
You don't want to say it? Okay.
No,
all right. It's all right. Look, I agree. I think Jake has definitely shown some aggression and confidence in his play style here. Again, you know, a player that we've never really casted before. Maybe once. The name sounds a little bit familiar.
Nope.
But, you know, big things going down here. 2v2 situation. It looks like...
Well, you know...
I'm sorry, 3v2 situation in favor of Rush, actually. Jibby had the bomb there, so I did think he was a dead body. Avino will take out Tony for a 2v2. Go ahead. Didn't want to cut you off there.
No. Just to touch on, the fact that we may have casted him before. After a while, all the 15 and 16-year-old boys, they just blend together.
Into one giant.
Into one big 16-year-old boy.
Yeah. Virtually speaking, of course. So, 2v2 situation. Hypnotic is going to try to or rather converge onto the bomb site. Let's hop on board with Avino, though. He is looking fresh. He's going to be pinning down Jake inside the bike shop there. He is going to manage to stay alive, and that should be the round here. Avino definitely going to go for that defuse. Last player alive for Rush is going to be Jibby. Got to play it smart because Avino has been on the bomb. Can he get it off last second here? And he does get the kill. Big round win for Jibby right there as he takes out Avino, pulls off the 1v2 clutch. Jibby's got to be feeling nice after that.
Really nice job by Jibby. I thought Avino had that off. When Avino dropped to the ground, I thought that was going to be, the big thing that saved him, trying to get that defuse. But damn, that was really nice job by Jibby, sliding in there and being able to get that kill.
Yeah, wow, fantastic work for Jibby. Let's stay on board with him, actually. I think he's, you got to give credit where credit is due. He's having himself a good last round there. Hopefully the momentum kind of carries into this one for him. Again, such a tight match. Teams are being pretty cautious. Quickly hopping on board with Jake. He's pretty deep into enemy territory right now. Does decide to use the FTL jump. Going to take out Wired, but Suspect right there to pick up the trade-off. So now, again, right back to that standoff kind of playstyle. Both teams being a little bit careful. They did send that one rusher there. And, again, the trade did go down, but what does that really accomplish in the long term here for this round, when both teams are playing so passive? So 3v3, 50 seconds left on the clock. Obscure Suspect is going to make a move to go ahead and try to get a plant down. I think he's just listening to his teammates now to see exactly what they can see. And they're going to just decide, hey, A or B, guys, what do you think is the right move right now? I don't know where Rush Enterprises is. You have players right now like Avino moving up to market. He is able to take out Jibby. He's probably saying, hey, look, come over to B. I'm trying to clear it out right now. Suspect going to go ahead and take down Tonimo. Last player alive for Rush is going to be HUD inside the bike shop. If he can get a quick kill off on the planter, he might be able to stall it for 20 seconds. If he can get away, this is going to be huge, but we have both players kind of converging on him right now from Hypnotic. This is going to be very difficult to do, and no dice. I wanted to see him escape. He was not able to do so there. Misery. Appreciate you following us on Twitter, man.
I really liked what we saw there by HUD. He did a great job killing the bomb planter and then throwing that nade. If only Avino wasn't rocking that, that perk there. I don't know what it's called in this game. It used to be called Tac Mask back when I played Call of Duty.
Back in the day.
But, if he wasn't rocking that, we would have had a different outcome to that round.
Yeah, I mean, agreed. Smart plays there. It was Tony Mo, yeah? Smart plays there, just couldn't quite cut it. You have a really strong Hypnotic team, and it just did not work out. HUD with a nice two-piece there. Jake following him up. Avino is now the last alive for Hypnotic. It looks like Rush is going to take their 5th round win here, which is going to be huge because once you have those, the 5 round wins, you're just one short step away from taking the map. So Rush looking strong here. Jake with 10 kills. Avino matching it. But again, you have the teamwork coming in from Rush right now. HUD with a big two-piece in that round. So we are going to stay on board with Rush right now. Kind of bouncing back and forth between, I think, Jake and HUD for this round, depending on who stays alive longer. But this is huge right now. They're going to need to take this away in order to get this map win. On board with Jake right now, rocking that K-bar. He will be going, looks like, A side. Maybe with a little bit of assistance from Tonimo. But, he's going to run into 3 players from Hypnotic here. He is able to take out one shot. And it looks like the rest of Hypnotic did fall back, and they are going to try to regroup a little bit. So take a look. Avino being extremely aggressive on B Street here to no avail. He has that active camo, did not pop it. So if they do make it to overtime, he will be using it then. 3v2 situation. It just looks like players are kind of being cautious now. You have 2 players left for Hypnotic, Suspect, and Wired Terror. They're kind of just chilling in spawn right now, waiting to play for that pick. Looks like HUD ran underneath. Potentially, I think I heard him pop his active camo, so he was able to take Suspect, and that's going to be really his role there, because then Rush will come through and do the rest of the work for him. Jake finishing map 2 with 12 kills.
Really nice stuff by Jake, man. He came out, was the key player for their hard point. Unfortunately, they could not get the win, but this S&D, he showed us what he can do. A very aggressive player. He reminds me a lot of Ability back when Season 1 started. Former member of Inhuman. And he's got a little bit of Maradona there. You know, the aggressiveness, just pure confidence. He just runs there and kills, really.
Yeah, you got to
So,
be aggressive.
I like to see that.
Yeah. And it's one of those things. It's really tough to be aggressive and confident if you aren't maybe winning your gunfights, let's say. So I feel like momentum has such. I just burped. Sorry, guys. Momentum has such a big role in Call of Duty where if you come into the gates in a round one and you get that first kill, that first one-on-one engagement, and you win it, that just carries your confidence further into the rest of the game because like, look, I'm hitting my shots, I'm winning my gunfights. That can play so huge for your team, and it did so there for Jake. So. Guys, we're going to be back in just a couple of minutes with map number 3. It's going to be, I believe, a precinct uplink. Let me double check that for you. A frost uplink, rather. So, guys, get hyped for a frost uplink between two extremely talented teams right here. The series is tied 1-1 right now. We'll see you in a couple minutes. Well, hey guys, we are back with map number 3 here in the series between Hypnotic and Rush Enterprises here in Breakout League Season 2. Once again, if you're just joining us, my name is Chris Patron, accompanied here with my brother Ryan Patron. And we have a pretty good series ahead of us right now. Tied 1-1, you have two really talented teams. We're on board with Obscure Suspect right now of Hypnotic. Big Slayers all around. And this is going to be a Frost uplink. So, this is one of those matches where we typically see one team kind of come away with the win by the halfway point. So, I do expect to see something like that kind of happen here. You know, I don't really expect it to go back and forth too much. I think you're going to see a little bit of that in the beginning, but then at some point you're going to see that one defining moment where a team kind of pulls away and really starts to run ahead with the points.
Well, we saw it a lot last season. We saw it in different, MLG events. Teams that win the first half most likely will go on to win this map, unless they have a real, fall off. But with such a small, fast-paced map, whenever you get two pieces like we just saw, they're always so big. This is another game mode, same map, where you need to, big team pushes. You really need them to succeed in this map.
Yeah, I 100% agree with you. I think there's so many different paths that you can take. You see so many trade-offs and just kind of bloodbaths in the middle that once you have a really good and well-organized team push, that's when you can really start to come away with the win here. Again, just like we're saying, it's just a back and forth right now here in the beginning. It's really going to be up to both of these teams to try to figure out what's going to work and what's not going to work throughout the course of this game. How are they going to play the map to their advantage? How are they going to get the kills that they need in order to execute, like you said, those team movements to bring that ball to the uplink? Jibby not taking the ball. He's with his entire team right now, so that's going to be good for them. But again, they don't really look like they have a specific course of action that they want to take here. Jibby kind of just running around, letting his teammates get some kills. Again, not exactly sure what to do here. You have players now, Wire Terror and One Shot respawning up by their uplink station. Jibby all alone with the ball. Not a whole lot to do.
We've seen some pretty good things. Wire Terror with a 3-piece.
Damn.
Really, looking like the Wire Terror of last season. He's off to a very nice start. 8 and 5. He's on a 3 streak also.
This
Almost
is unreal.
getting shot there.
Yeah, Wire Terror looking electric right there, but he is taken down by Jake. So, wow, I mean, it really is that back and forth that we were talking about, because even when you had a player kind of break out with a 3-piece there, it was not enough to get the job done.
Well, yeah, 3-piece is probably, an ideal scenario. Suspect getting so close to taking out this player on the ship. It's like he will get him.
Yeah, the sub, I think the whole sub room is just a really big place where people like to try to take control of. But again, look at that. Sneakily, a 1-pointer is tossed in there for Rush Enterprises. Again, we're so focused on one room, but there's so many different lanes here on this map that you can really do pretty much anything here. So I think we're going to try to just stay on ball for the remainder of this map. And again, it's not exactly the easiest thing in the world to do, because look at this. There's perimeter wall runs that you have to take into concern. So really just a nice 1-pointer there to even the score for Hypnotic, but really just tough to keep track as a team of what you want to do when there's so many different lanes, so many different gunfights being exchanged down the middle of the map. And I really do think now that we're kind of coming to the end of the first half here, this is going to be the point in the next minute of this half, and then the first minute or so of the second half, when you're going to start to see the differentiating factors come into play.
One thing I just want to note, Avino, a free agent, I believe, this season. He bounced around last season on teams. It was never, a doubt of his skill. He slayed out. He could, play the objective. He does have the uplink. I think it's more of a chemistry thing. I think people didn't get along with him. Might have been the case, but, you cannot overlook his skill. He really is just doing a great job this series for his team. And he might be, the permanent sub for Hypnotic. I don't know what they're going to look to do. But, it's surprised he's not on a team with the skill that he does have.
Let's take a look at Jake here. He's going to be getting close to that uplink station. Can he get the 1-point toss off? He does indeed, taking the lead for Rush. And he'll pick up a kill on One Shot afterward. I think he actually just wasted his FTL jump, by the way. So Tony Mo's going to be the last left alive for Rush over by Hypnotic's uplink station. But 25 seconds left in the half. Something big is going to have to go down if any of these teams want to see a point before the end of this half. I don't think it's going to happen, although we do see 3 Rush players over by the satellite drone right now. HUD is going to be taking it. 15 seconds left. This is totally possible. Let's see if he can execute here. Trying to throw it over the top. And it does not connect. Oh, and a missed throw there from his teammates. So no, Rush is not able to connect with any points at the end of the first half. Wow.
You know, if he got that throw off, that could have been game-changing. You saw it was a nice job. HUD just fell a little bit short there. But, geez, that could have been so clutch. Only 1 point. It's not like Rush is really running away with this. So I would say it's anybody's game. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, I would have to agree with you there. It really is anybody's game. Rush definitely did look good at the end of that first half, though. You know, they really came away and had some nice teamwork. Matt Evans, thank you for that follow. I appreciate that so much. And guys, if you're in the chat and are interested in casting, I know a couple of you are, just hit us up on Twitter. We'll get back to you real soon because we are looking for some casters. But I don't want to get distracted from the game too much. Wired Terror is on a 3 streak right now, taking down 3 players from Rush Enterprises. Make that 4 before he gets taken down. Avino with the ball. Will he be able to get off a throw or maybe even a dunk? I don't know. He is kind of outnumbered here with Rush really closing in on him. HUD is now going to go for that reset and kind of reestablish dominance of their side of the map. So good attempt there from Hypnotic. Big plays out of Wired Terror, slaying out and getting 4 kills. But it did not translate into points, unfortunately for them. So Rush is now going to try to use the momentum of that stop and bring it into some more points of their own.
See an absolute bloodbath, honestly, right here, center. Suspect does have the ball. This might be at least a throw-off. They do have numbers.
Oh, Wired Terror with the 2 kills, but Jake answering back with 2 kills of his own. One shot gets the 1-point toss off finally, though.
Amazing job there.
Wow.
One shot.
Yeah, there were big plays on both sides that time. 2 kills going down for Terror, 2 kills going down for Jake, but then one shot was able to come in and close it out. So Jake, who's been really hot this game, did just try to pick up the drone. Jibby's going to follow him up with a grenade of his own. 22 kills on Jibby right now, second most in the lobby, only second to Wired Terror. Speak of the devil, he will go down at the hands of Wired Terror. So the ball is just kind of chilling in sub-room right now, both teams with 2 points. 3 minutes and 30 seconds left on the clock, approximately. HUD with a nice 2-piece. And it looks like Rush is going to be making their attempt at points here. Jake is going to pick up that ball. I don't know if that's the right move there. I mean, he's doing such a great job of slaying out. He really needs to think about what his best role at the moment is right now. Maybe go for those kills and try to slay out a little bit. Let some of your teammates run up behind and pick up the ball. A player like Tonimo right now who is struggling just a little bit to get kills and keep up with the rest of his team. And as I say that, gets 2 kills. He must have heard me. Maybe you want to send him to get the ball, but I don't know. I mean, he's really kind of making me eat my words here as he just got a few kills in quick succession. Jibby with the uplink should be able to get off. The 1-point toss, but he misses, actually. The ball is still going to be down. Last player left alive is going to be HUD. Looks like he could actually get this. It could even translate into a dunk, but he decides to go for the 1, so a nice heads-up play there by HUD to get some points for Rush Enterprises. They are now up 3-2. Ryan, what do you think?
I mean, Jibby had a real whiff right there, man. He really could have gotten that throw off. But HUD did a really nice job picking up picking up his teammate. I would not be surprised with one shot with a nice 2-piece, but Jibby taking him out. I think whatever team scores right here, this could heavily, throw their, they could heavily favor that team to win. Suspect is doing a nice job pushing through these crates. He's probably a little confused on which way he wants to go.
Oh, baby!
What a throw by Suspect.
I don't understand how he just hit that throw. I was being super quiet letting you talk there, but I don't understand how he weaseled his way through with 3 players from Rush Enterprises just looking directly at him, looking at that doorway and gunning up on it. Suspect somehow manages to get that throw off to bring it back 3-3, but don't count him out yet. HUD is popping his active camo, gonna try to go for the dunk, and he gets it. Rush now leading 5-3 up against Hypnotic here with 1 minute and 25 seconds left in the second half of this uplink. Crazy plays here back and forth. This is definitely more of a nail biter than I was originally anticipating. Wow.
It's really, really crazy stuff. Ooh, so many kills are going down, back and forth, back and forth. If Hypnotic gets it, it looks like we did see something getting popped there.
I mean, this is the time, really. 1 minute left. You got to be using those payloads if you have any. Looks like Avino is actually pretty close to his active camo. But down by 2, they're really going to need it to come into play here. If he can get this 1-pointer off, this is going to be huge. But it looks like he's going to try to go for the dunk. He wasn't able to do so, but with all of his teammates there, Wire Terror will pick it up and go for the dunk to tie it up. Under a minute left in the second half of this Frost uplink. Hypnotic comes back and ties it. Wire Terror, big plays there, of course, with the assist from Avino, who paved the way for that point to be scored. Avino now going to pick up the drone once again and try to move it upwards. But again, back and forth, like you always say. One shot now picking up the drone, making a final push for Hypnotic here. 3 players from Rush Enterprises trying to block the drone toss. Avino, the last left alive. It's going to get reset. A nice 2-piece there for HUD. Rush coming back to defend.
One thing to note, Wire Terror does have his overdrive. Let's see if he pops it. It looks like he did just pop it there.
9 seconds left. This is huge. He absolutely has a chance. If he can get the 1-point toss off, it's going to be it. And that's it. Hypnotic score at the last second. That's the game. Wire Terror coming in clutch for the win there. Popping that overdrive. Ryan called it there. Big plays. Wire Terror coming up huge for Hypnotic. Crazy game. That was the best uplink game I've seen all season.
Well, yeah. But, you know, we have to give a lot of props. Suspect did a really nice job. He got that throw off. You know, he got that really nice throw off. That
dude,
I think that maybe got you know, we didn't realize how big that really was. But Wire Terror, 32 kills
the scoreboard
to
for
go
them.
with his throw and his dunk. Really nice job. Really, really nice job.
What a game. Oh man, Call of Duty at its finest right there, ladies and gentlemen. You just saw the stats right there. We'll read off a couple of key ones, but I mean, Wire Terror, 32 kills, a carry, and a throw, coming up huge for his team right there. You can't take away from his teammates. Even Avino with 17 kills played his role there, had some clutch moments. Suspect, one shot Avino, followed up with Wire Terror there, really putting on a show. I mean, Rush played great. I do think, however, towards the end, the only issue they did have was they were a little bit on the defensive. Mm-hmm. You know, you definitely saw Hypnotic being the aggressors with the ball movement.
Yeah.
Rush was put on the defensive, and they were not able to execute and mow down Hypnotic as they tried to flood in for those desperation attempts at the end.
Yeah, well, you know what it is? Hypnotic just overpowered them, too. They really did a great job, and it was the team pushes that they had. You know, Wire Terror was playing off his mind there the last 17 seconds, popping that active camo. Not active camo, overdrive. Really having a nice run in through the sub base. And you saw it died on him just as he was jumping, too. You know, I think he realized that, and he's like, I got to go for a throw here. And he landed the throw with about 3 seconds, 2.5 seconds left. But at that point, there's nothing you can do if you're a Rush player.
Get your heart going, ladies and gentlemen. That gets your heart going. Wow. I probably sounded like, I mean, my voice is shot. I haven't casted in. It's been like almost 2 months now. I haven't casted in such a long time, and my voice kind of hurts. But I probably sounded like a squealing pig there. I was so excited, and my voice is so scratchy right now. But oh my god, that was insane. I'm sorry. I'm gonna hit you guys with some music. It's a little quiet, but that was great, man. I'm really impressed by the level of competition we just saw there. Hypnotic is leading the series 2-1. We got ourselves a map 4, potentially a map 5. It's gonna go back to a hard point, and I'll tell you guys the map in 1 second. It's gonna be a scorch hard point. Alrighty.
All right, scorch hard point.
Nothing wrong with a scorch hard point.
Oh.
It's gonna be on Rush Enterprises host. Wow. Man, I'm feeling good after that. Crispy, I missed you, Dad. OMG, not so much Ryan. What's up, Booster?
All right, Booster.
Hey guys, I just want to give a quick shout out to June Can't Miss One, Phoenix Cod, The King Mexi, and Matt Evans for following, and anybody else who followed before them who we are missing. I really appreciate that, guys. Thank you so much.
Booster, just so you know, I was gonna hit you up last week because I was, you know, in Queens, and I wanted to know if you wanted to like go get food or something. But maybe now I'm not.
Yo, Mama's Empanadas. That's
you know, I'm gonna be driving through Queens on Sunday too. So if you want to do something, hit me up, slide my DMs. But if not, it's whatever. Just so you know.
Any New York players out here that we don't know about already? Where's the New York COD community at?
Suspects from Long Island.
Suspect,
But
yeah.
he's playing right now, so.
Your head's in the game.
Oh, one shot.
His head's in the game, but his heart isn't.
His heart's in the song.
Yeah, his head's in the game, but his heart's in the song. Yeah. Woo, obscure as hell. I like it.
That was from High School Musical.
No, I know. I don't know if they know. Do you guys know High School Musical? Some of the younger guys. I'm weak at the limbs. I don't know what that means, but Wired Terror putting on a show. Unbelievable.
I sent Wired a Snapchat after that horrible S&D that he had. He looked like he was Slinky out there playing S&D for question mark last season. And
you know who's nice at S&D? Snivy. I'm sorry, that was totally random.
Okay.
Well, you said Slinksy, so it reminded me of Snivy.
I said Slinky.
I have a booger. If I pick it over here, will you guys tell anyone?
No, they can't see.
They can't see?
No. So yeah, he was looking like Slinky out in that S&D, but then he flipped the switch there and he had a really really nice uplink.
Wait, someone said Ryan, you suck.
Yeah, it was Slinky.
Oh. What's up, Chris P? He's trying to be me. Crispy, thanks for that follow. And welcome to the Breakout League. I'm just kidding. It's not just so any of you guys are wondering, it's not the Breakout League. It's just Breakout League. Everybody calls it the Breakout League. It's not the Breakout League. It's just Breakout League, guys. Just Breakout League. Not the Breakout League. Not El Breakout
Welcome to
League.
the Breakout League.
We're starting a cooking show called Breakout the Food. So
Ooh.
if you guys want to watch that,
We're gonna have Suspect and Booster Flames as guests.
Yeah, we do all healthy meals. I think actually let's hop on board with Suspect right now. We've got ourselves a Scorch Hardpoint here. A couple of kills going down in favor of Rush to start it off. Wired Terror answering back with a couple of his own. Jake always there to shut him down. Following up with a nice 2-piece to back it up. So Rush taking an early lead here. Scorch Hardpoint. Ryan, tell me about Scorch Hardpoint.
Scorch Hardpoint. We're playing Hardpoint, and it's on Scorch.
Wow, thanks. Back to you, Chris. All right, so anyway, no, seriously, tell me, what do you think about Scorch Hardpoint? What are some of the key things you need to do to ensure your team wins?
The real thing that you need to secure a win is rotate very early on Scorch.
Very early.
Yeah, I do say rotate early a lot, but on Scorch, it is extremely important. On the second and third hardpoints, they are on opposite sides of the map. So as we see players get into position right here on this, on this hardpoint, as they slay and they start killing off, members of Hypnotic, they're gonna be spawning all the way across on Catwalk on the next hardpoint. So it's gonna be really, really tricky, to balance that. It's a long distance.
Nice movement there from Avino, sliding in and then popping up to clean up Tonimo. Looks like Hypnotic was able to execute a team break there. But back when you were just originally talking about this hardpoint, Rush had such a good foothold on it. You really did not expect Hypnotic to be able to break that.
Oh, kill streaks coming in. Jake already with kill streaks. He is 10-2 on a 2-streak, and he's got 45 seconds on Hill.
Yeah, I want to see what he decides to do here. I mean, with 15 seconds left, he wants his team to start rotating, but it looks like he's out for blood, and he's going to try to pick up some last-second time here. 2 players alive. Let's actually rotate over to them on the next hill. It's going to be Tonimo sneakily being underneath here. He's going to be looking mid-map. Actually put some bullets into his own teammate. Tries to avoid shots from a Hypnotic player there. Avino will take him out, and it looks like Hypnotic take the hangar hill with ease. Again, Rush is going to try to flood in. Jake looking great with the gun tonight. Goes down at the hands of one shot there. HUD sitting just outside the hard point here. Going to try to break and enter, but one shot holding it down and actually just racking up some points for Hypnotic right now. So the longer that Rush sits out here, the more points Hypnotic gets.
One thing to note, as far as goes for Hypnotic, Wired Terror with 7 kills, leading his team, doing a really, really nice job. As I say that, he does get taken out, of course. But see what I mean with members of Hypnotic spawning out all the way on the previous hardpoint? It is so difficult that, to capture and maintain this hardpoint when you get slayed off, because you're going to spawn way out. With 7 seconds, we're seeing people already rotate to the drill hardpoint. This one is also very, very important. A little recklessness right there by Suspect, just blindly running around that corner,
Now take note of Tonimo there. He decided not to push onto the hill at first. He was going to wait for his teammates. He got a little bit hasty there and then actually went to get the hill since, you know, none of his teammates were there yet, and it wound up biting him in the butt. So sometimes it's a little bit better to just be patient and kind of wait for the rest of your team to come up if you're playing that sort of anchor role and you're the first one to rotate there. So definitely something to take note of moving forward here. It looks like Rush is going to capitalize and take plenty of hill time. Looks like they got total control.
See, Jake, you know, he hasn't cooled off, man. So far, every single map that we have seen him on, he is dominating. He has 18 kills and over a minute on hill. He's a very balanced player. I compared him to ability. I gave him a slight nod to Maradona. You know, maybe I think he plays a little bit more of an objective role than, you know, Maradona, and Maradona might slay out a little bit more. But definitely like a meaningful Maradona wired... not Maradona, excuse me. A meaningful ability, like Wired Terror vibe, I'm getting so far from Jake this season.
Yeah, I agree with you 100%. You know, it's nice to see some fresh blood. Thought we had a 4 down there in favor of Rush, but it was actually a team kill on Jake from HUD. But, yeah, definitely nice to see some fresh blood and see that there's a lot of potential coming into the league for Season 2. You know, you have a lot of talent, and this is really just the very beginning of when it's going to start to come out. You know, you have, of course, the returning players like Avino, Wired Terror, Suspect, One Shot, really all of Hypnotic right now. But again, you have people who really have something to prove and something to show us. And again, you know, Jake doing a great job of that.
Also, I feel like we haven't, you know, even mentioned the scoreboard. Rush is pretty easily taking a 100+ point lead here. So, you know, it's, you know, Hypnotic is not out necessarily, but they're gonna have to rotate early because Rush is already set up on the on this next hard point.
Yeah, this is going to be an extremely difficult break. I kind of want to be on board with Wired Terror for it. I think he's been pretty electric, you know, throughout the series so far. So let's see what he and his team decide to do. A lot of pre-firing going down there. They're going to have to really come out as a team here, break through, and try to kill off these Rush players. Doesn't look like too much is going to go down in their favor there as Rush holds off pretty well. One Shot getting a quick kill, and he will be shot in the back. I think that's going to leave, you know, players like Avino and Obscure. Suspect last alive over by Long A. Wired Terror gonna make one last final attempt, maybe just to get some exit frags as Rush comes out of this hill. But yeah, look at that. Just look at the placement on the minimap. Really, Rush is dominating the hill. Hypnotic are pushed way out, so they're gonna just need to focus on rotating. Really cut their losses here because Rush, you know, already surpassed that 200-point mark. Hypnotic underneath 100 points. They gotta lock down this next hill at Hangar and hold it for as long as they possibly can, excuse me.
Well, you know, the thing is, if Hypnotic doesn't hold this next hill for at least 50 seconds, I don't think they're gonna win. And of course, you know, Rush only needs, you know, we're closing in on, they're only gonna need 30 seconds to win it. But even if, you know, nobody was even on it, I think Hypnotic could have a better chance of winning. But Rush is just really coming into this map with a vengeance. Everybody is slaying out for them. You know, everybody has a positive KD. It looks like they're gonna have multiple players with 2 minutes on hill, which, you know, that's amazing. Hypnotic is just looking kind of flat. I don't know how else to say it.
Yeah, I mean, Jake, take a look at Jake being really electric right now, approaching 30 kills with 5 seconds left. I don't think he's going to reach that mark, but like you said, Rush just really not losing any gunfights, looking extremely dominant here. Not nearly as exciting of a match as it was the last map, but again, that's going to happen. So we will hop back on board with us and throw on some music, but you know, it was just kind of a quick match. Nothing too much to see there. Unfortunately, not as entertaining as we would have loved it to be, as sometimes Scorch Hardpoints can be. But still, nonetheless, we are going to map 5, ladies and gentlemen.
Well, 2 members, Tonimo and Jake. Oh, excuse me, I don't think Jake did. You X'd out of it, so I couldn't see.
Sorry about that.
But 2 members had 2 minutes or more on hill. I think it was Jake. But really crazy stuff. You want at least 3 players with over a minute on hill. They had...
We say it every time.
They had 3 players with over a minute on hill, and 2 of them had 2 minutes? That's nuts.
Yep.
You know, I think the highest, you know, time on hill for Hypnotic was like 40 seconds or something like that. That's unacceptable. It really is. And they just didn't slay out either. So we're going into the final map which is...
Let's take a look. That's a great question.
Throwback
Search.
All right, and it's on Hypnotic's host.
Risky business. I would have loved it to be like a best of, well, actually that would have made sense then. But I was going to say the close uplink should have been the last map, but that would have meant a 3-0 sweep and it wouldn't have been close anyway. So never mind. I don't know what I'm saying. Throwback Search and Destroy. It's going to be on Hypnotic Esports' host. Who knows, potentially the host could have had something to do with that last round win. Whoa. Hey. So we will be back with you guys in just 1 minute to bring you that Throwback Search and Destroy. All right, guys, we are back and just about ready to jump into the game. So without further ado, let's bring you right there.
Okay.
Well, this is it.
Let's get this going now, Chris. Let's
get it going. Alrighty. So it is map number 5 in the first full series of Breakout League Season 2. Rush Enterprises up against Hypnotic. Search and Destroy on Throwback. No one has died yet, although shots have been fired.
This is Season 2. Feels like Season 6.
You are right, but Suspect is going to put the bomb down for Hypnotic on A. Avino getting the first blood on Jibby. One shot picking up HUD. Jake answering back to the kill on one shot. 3v2 situation in favor of Hypnotic here. A couple of players from Rush kind of scattered about. Avino getting another kill on, this time on Totemo. Jake with his third kill of the round on Wired Terror, going for his fourth. Not able to take out Suspect. It's a 1v1 situation. He's going to go for that straight defuse. Suspect not able to tell that he was going straight for it. I guess he's probably thinking that it was a bluff, but the bomb does get defused. So that's a 1v4 essentially for Jake there, because he did kill those 3 guys and then wound up getting the defuse there at the end. So great round by Rush. Heads up play by Jake. Really kind of called the bluff there from one shot, not thinking he would come back. So let's get back on board with Jake. He's playing Electric off host, might I add. So he's going to go over to A. He's got that NV4 hop up on the trains here. Looking for that early pick, and he gets it on one shot. Wire Terror answers back by killing HUD.
I don't know why they continue to challenge Jake like this. From the limited action that we have seen from him, he has done very well.
I just want to throw in that Jake already has his FTL jump.
Ooh-wee.
Ooh, he is right.
FTL jump.
2v3 situation in favor of Rush. Looks like Rush is really just playing aggressive. Hypnotic a little bit scared here. The last player is going to be suspect. He will get taken out just like that. Once again, Jake getting a couple of kills for himself. I think he only got 2 that round, but still playing out of his shoes. Jake with a really strong start here. Rush must be feeling great. I mean, they're off host, putting up 2 really strong round wins right off the bat. And, you did see them take the second map, which was a Search and Destroy as well, so they must be feeling pretty confident. I think they're a pretty Search and Destroy heavy team based on the way that they're playing. We'll stay on board with Jake just because he really is performing well enough to deserve the viewership here. He's going to go and predict a B movement with that NV4. Still has that FTL jump, mind you. He's going to be rocking the NV4, trying to get some long-range shots here over by baseball side of the map, barn side of the map, B side of the map, whatever you want to call it. And it looks like we've got ourselves a little bit of a standoff.
You know what it is? This Hypnotic team, we talked about it, they do not... They haven't really played with each other before. They just recently teamed up the last maybe 48 hours, and they're not playing... And they're playing...
Oh,
Jake, man,
excuse me,
really
that was
putting
just
on a
nasty.
show. They're playing without Krex, who is arguably the best Slayer on their team. So I think they might just be... They might just have some problems with their communication, honestly. They are down 2 players here. This is a tough one for this Hypnotic team. Down 3. We are down to the last player. That is a Vino.
Wow. Rush is really steamrolling Hypnotic right now. 3-0 in map 5. I personally did not expect the series to go down exactly like this. I knew it would be relatively close, but here in this map 5, I mean, Rush is just really coming out ahead right now.
Rush really doing a nice job. Looks like they're catching fire in these last 2 maps. Coming into this, there was some talk. We said this is not the Rush team that we saw last year. And, it's obviously not the same team. A completely new roster. We don't know how this team would face up against the last Rush, but they have definitely put themselves, on notice. They are a good team. Jake is a Slayer. He is a player to keep an eye out for. But we'll see how they do for the...
Oh, I was just watching to see how Avino played that. A quick 3 kills.
Wow, Avino really turned it on that round. Excuse me for not catching that, but let's see, who's the last one alive? We have
Tonimo. Wow, they're really chasing him.
They really are. He's 4-1 this game, doing a nice job following up Jake.
I don't think Wired Terror saw him. It looks like he was really on his tail there, but I think Tonimo was able to escape. Unfortunately for him, he will go down at the hands of, I believe, Wired Terror. Could have been a Vino there. Hypnotic putting themselves on the board. It's now 1-3 in terms of the round count. Ladies and gentlemen, this is map 5 of the first ever series of Breakout League Season 2. You do not want to miss this. If you know someone who's not watching this stream right now, you better call them up and tell them to hop in because it is all going down in the next 5 to 10 minutes or so, and we will finally know who's going to take away the first real win of Season 2.
Yeah, we say real win because X Gaming did grab, the first win of the season by forfeit. X Gaming, has 3 of the returning members of Rush from last season, and they did win, some games by forfeit last season, whether it was teams just didn't want to play them or teams couldn't make it. So they're pretty used to that by now. So this will be we'll have the true first winner of the season. And it'll be the whole series, too. We're playing all 5 maps.
Nice movement there from One Shot. He's going to take out Jibby. It's a 2v1. Jake, I think, is now... Yep, Jake is the last alive for Rush Enterprise. Is going to be going up against Wired Terror here, 2 of the bigger slayers of these teams. He does find Terror, and he's going to have enough time to defuse. I don't believe it. Rush is really running away with this map.
Rush isn't running away with it. Jake is running away with it.
True.
He's 11-1. He's on a 4 streak. He's dipping his little teabag in Wired Terror's mouth. And, I mean, he is almost single-handedly winning this map.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to, be, overshine the other players on Rush, but if you look, you have Jibby doesn't have a kill. HUD only has 2 kills.
Should we give some love to Jibby?
Give love to whoever you want. I'm just saying, Jake is earning his, spot.
He really is. You're right. 11 bomb. We're going to hop on board with Jake. He's got that FTL jump still. Okay, never mind.
Wow, nice.
Yeah, that was my fault. Sorry about that. One man goes down for Rush, another for Hypnotic. It's 3v3. HUD is making that a 3v2 in favor of Rush. Things are not looking good for Hypnotic here. I mean, you would have thought after that uplink match that they were going to come away with the win here, but it may not be so. It's really not looking too great for them. I think they did square it out to a 2v2, though, so you do have 2 players still alive for Hypnotic, but they are really separated. So while Wired Terror is back here over by Lemon, his teammate is way far away from him. Luckily, he is able to take out that kill. He needs to win this gunfight here, because if he does not, Tonimo's going to have an opportunity to turn around and try to take out One Shot. One Shot not close enough to Wired Terror to get there for the pickup.
Not at all. He's on the other side of the map. You got to be thinking, especially, for being people who played a lot of doubles, mostly in MWR, but, we've played a lot of doubles. You know how important it is to stay relatively close to your teammate, or at least having a clear line of sight of where he is to get his pickup. Having 2 players on the opposite sides of the map, they did win the round because One Shot was able to get that kill, but still, you're not always going to be that fortunate.
Yeah, absolutely. You got to be definitely thinking about where your positioning is in relation to your teammates. You got to be within pickup range. If you die, basically, and no one's there to pick you up, it might have been not exactly the best choice of positioning. So, speaking of not great choice of positioning, One Shot's going to be taken out there in mid-train. A quick rush from Rush, and they take out 3 players on Hypnotic. Avino killing Tonimo there. He's in a really crappy position here. He's going to try to fight off 3 players. Takes out Jibby as well. It's a 1v2. Pops his active camo. This is the time to do it. If any, 1v1. He gets the 4th. That's a 1v4 for Avino. Holy crap, man.
Somebody sign this kid. He is a free agent.
Oh my goodness. What a time to pop that active camo. It was looking glum for him there. I mean, seriously, a straight up 1v4, essentially. And he was able to take it away. Avino, props to you, man. He's bringing Hypnotic back in here. That could be the momentum that they needed to really come away with this win here in Map 5 in this series.
Avino was named All-League second team last season for his slaying ability. And he's really showcasing that tonight. Teams are gonna, be taking an eye and seeing how good this kid really is.
Yeah, because isn't he technically a free agent
right now? He technically is a free agent. I don't know if he's going to be talking to any teams. As we said, it's now down to a 2v2.
Let's stay on board with Avino. I think he deserves it here. 12 kills. You must have seen him go top food there. Not sure if he did.
He did not, it looks like.
Wow. So it looks like he will go for that defuse. Suspect is going to be the line of defense here in order to stop HUD from coming up on the defuser. He is able to take him out, so Hypnotic will take this round. Guys, it's 4-4 in Map 5. This is intense right here. Hypnotic really battling back.
That 1v4 by Avino really might have been the momentum slinger.
100%,
Matt,
yeah.
I see you typing in the chat. He's a free agent or a substitute right now. We'll have to discuss it with them after, but up until earlier today, he was a free agent. He is not the 4th for this team, so I don't know if he's going to be like a sub for them or he'll be willing to go onto a team full-time, but as of right now, I think it's safe to say he's a free agent. But really doing a great job. He did very well last season. He's doing very well so far this season, early. So we'll see what they do. He gets a kill streak kill. Also, he has 13 kills.
Yeah, real quickly, I just want to say it's been a really nice breakout here for Hypnotic in this round. Quick couple of kills, 1 for Suspect. I think the positioning has just been great. Now you're going to see Rush try to kind of pinch in a 2v2 situation here. Jibby picking up a kill for himself there. So really kind of pinching back here for Rush. They did a great job at kind of countering that initial start, but
Avino just got his 14th kill. Unbelievable.
That's a series MVP if I've ever seen one.
Can he make it 15? He can. It looks like either One Shot or Suspect picked him up right there. I'm not sure who it was. But Jake, it was Suspect there picking up Avino. You see Avino getting some hits there on Jibby. So Avino's even getting assists. He's doing everything. But Jake has really cooled off.
Yes.
He got 11 kills. I believe he was like 11-1. He's now 11-5. He has died the last 4 rounds.
I do want to stay on board with Avino to see if he can close it out here. He's got 14 kills, only 5 deaths, and he's looking at some streaks as well. So if you're Hypnotic, you got to be thinking, we need to win this round right here. We don't want to go to an overtime. We want to end it right here, right now. You got your streaks. You got Avino playing hot. Rush is playing a little bit scared, in my opinion. Take a look at the minimap here. They're all in baseball right now. Avino picking out Jibby from a mile away, avoiding some kill streaks there, just narrowly.
How is he alive right now? Avino with that amazing pre-fire on Jibby, and now he is just single-handedly trapping Rush in this corner, and he is just going to tee off, it looks like.
Yeah, and you know what? Avino is the first line of defense here, going to be gunning down players like Hud.
Popping the active camo. Avino is licking his lips. Oh my god.
17 kills.
I think this may be the most kills we have ever seen in a Breakout League SND.
This is unreal.
It really is.
Oh my goodness, last player left alive for Rush Enterprise. We might as well give him some credit right now. Jake, who played so well in the beginning of the round, this is going to be his time to win it for his team.
It's not over yet.
Still got that FDL jump. 20 seconds left. 1v2 situation. He is taken out by Avino.
18
Hypnotic
kills
comes
for Avino.
back to win map 5. Oh my goodness. Keep in mind, guys, Rush was winning 3-0 just a little bit earlier.
Unbelievable. You know, Jake, you know, maybe he heard us there talking about him, saying he died 4 rounds in a row without getting a kill, comes back, gets 2 kills in that final round, but still not enough for his team.
Wow.
Avino, though, putting on an absolute showcase.
Yeah, you know what? I honestly think that might have been potentially
the best S&D that we have seen from one player in the last 2 seasons so far.
That's exactly